Good to go?
Good to go.
Okay, tough game. Tough game today. St. Joe's, I think defensively is very, very good. From a numbers perspective, they've probably climbed as much as any team in college basketball from Christmas until right now. I think what Steve and his staff have done, his team, to me, they've been the story of the conference in terms of like how they've responded. And they deserve some credit today for on the road, being able to pull this one out. And I thought we competed hard. You can't be perfect with the way that we shot the ball. We had no room for error. I think that plays a big role. Our shooting right now in our last 3 games has been a deflator. Obviously, offensively, we've really struggled. But not being able to make some open ones today, you were going to need to make some just in terms of the way that they play around the rim with their size. And we had some really good looks. I thought our guys really responded with some good kick-out passes, some really good one-mores. We had some good unselfish plays. Sometimes that's the way it breaks. And for us, it's kind of at the wrong time at the year. You want to be playing on all cylinders, but offensively right now, we're not giving ourselves a chance, so to speak, to be good, or in the winner's circle, so to speak. We responded from a really tough game the other night. I thought our kids in one day turnaround. I thought defensively we competed really hard. And at home, if you're able to get St. Joe's to 61 points, they shoot 38%, they go 14% from 3. Man, I mean that gives you some should give you some confidence, the defense to offense, or the ability level to play in transition, and just the ineptness offensively in terms of being able to make some open ones, being able to convert. It's disappointing, but I give our kids a lot of credit. We were set up this week. We had a tough week. Obviously, our state had a tough week with the blizzard and whatnot, but we really had an unorthodox week in terms of preparation and then obviously playing the game. But played hard, proud of them. Thought we really competed at the 14-minute mark. We were in some trouble, and down 13, being able to really rally and being able to push towards the finish. 1-point game, last 4 minutes of the game, 1 possession game. We weren't able to convert, and that's kind of the name of the game. You got to have some plays go in your way, and they made a big 3, and they got a big roll dunk on our defense late. But really the story for us is offensively. Can we find some rhythm? Can we get some guys to have a little bit more confidence shooting the ball? Which we'll stand tall. We'll own this week. It's been a tough stretch for us, but I look forward to the regular season coming down to this last week and us really having an opportunity to get a couple more opportunities to win.
Questions?
Is the offense at all alarming at this point of the year?
It's not alarming. I think at the end of the day, if you look at our team, our strength is in offense. We have to have a couple guys offensively play well in games for us to be good. And I think when you look at some of our really good wins this year, we've had multiple guys have the ability level to score the ball, shoot the ball, get a scoring punch, so to speak. And a week and a half ago, you play against St. Louis, and at the end of the day, things look good. Why the ball went in. And I think right now the quality of shots, we didn't turn it over as much today, which was probably a big reason why we were able to hang around. But you go 6 for 33 from 3. I think we made our first one in the first half, and Jonah made the last one, but I think we had 14 misses in a row in between that. And sometimes the ball going in makes things look a lot better, makes you feel a lot better. And for a long stretch there, scoring against St. Joe's is going to be difficult around the rim with how they're built. They're very good defensively, and we needed a couple to go in, but not in the cards right now. And I think what we have to do is get back and have a really good 2.5 days here before we play again. And Duquesne's a very, very challenging game for us as well.
Their last 2 buckets, Simpson got downhill and was able to facilitate. The 3 by Glover Toscano, they haven't made much from outside all game. When someone makes a late 3 like that after not making any all days, it almost doubly painful.
Yeah, I think the big thing was the timing of the shot and just the air in the building, so to speak. Like one of the 2 teams needed a big one to go down. And in the play that you're talking about, obviously, I thought Simpson did a really good job of dragging us. We had to stay a little bit longer than we wanted to in this game. And, our holds and whatnot, and he made if I'm not mistaken, I think he just zipped it, from right side to left side.
Yeah.
And he's a terrific player in terms of playing the point guard right now. I would say he's one of the most impressive point guards in our league, and what he's done for their team has been outstanding from a production standpoint. And he made a great read. And then, Toscano can shoot. They have a good three-point shooting team at times. And, if you give guys time and rhythm and the ball hits them in the hands on target, that was definitely a big deflator, so to speak, that we needed sort of to get that stop. It was in the balance. Those last 3 minutes, whoever was going to make the play or get the stop was going to win. They made a big shot right there.
The two-point defense has been pretty reliable this year. The past two games, it's just certainly kind of fallen apart. Was there anything that St. Joe's did today specifically that you felt disrupted the sets?
Are you talking about 2-point field goal percentage defense, or are you talking about
defensively
post?
for you guys? Yeah.
Defensively for us, obviously we're trying to eliminate as many twos as we can. And with the way that we play, obviously, I think from an aggressive standpoint, we're trying to rely on pressure and deflections, but we obviously aren't a team that's built to be able to just, wall you up, use size, and make you shoot over top of us. So we have to be good at making hard plays. We have to be good at, effort plays, and we have. If you look at us statistically, defensively, we lead the league, or we're right at the top of block percentage or steal percentage and whatnot. But today's 2-point baskets, weren't as much of a post defense game where they're just throwing it inside. At times you have to live and die sometimes with the pick and roll game, with the way that we play of it getting in there. You have to be kind of good, at times being able to play when the ball gets in there, playing into out. But, obviously huge rollers in this game with shooting around you. You have to pick your poison. But we also probably, I think, just from an offensive standpoint, when you miss as many as we did, and we did have 15 offensive rebounds in the game, but when you miss as many as you're going to give runouts. You're going to get in transition. You got to be good in that area, and I think that's the thing that's really underrated about St. Joe's is their quality of how fast and the space in terms of their breakneck push. Simpson, Myers, you name it. They have multiple guys that can get to the basket. But 2-point field goal percentage defense for us, I would say it's not as much about 2-point field goal percentage defense. It's much more about the amount of twos that they get. And sometimes we're going to be okay if you give up a roll every once in a while, or you got to be good in transition and getting stops. But, the bottom line in this game was neither team really shot it particularly well. We needed to be able to be a little bit better in terms of being able to generate some transition opportunities. If I look at the transition, fast break points, I know it says 11-7, but it feels like they capitalized a lot more than we did when we had our opportunities to get numbers of strikes. Missed layups in the first half, turnovers on the break. In these type of games, you got to be able to convert because it's going to be highly contested. And didn't break our way tonight in terms of being able to make the plays that we needed to.
Shut out off turnovers, and in particular, they got a couple early in the second half where they built their lead. Just how much does that make the margin in a game like this where neither team can run half-court offense?
Yeah, I think it's a good point to be made in capitalizing off your defense to offense or missed shots. That's kind of what I just alluded to, whether they got points off turnovers 13-0. Some of the turnovers that we had led to easy ones. I'm not sure. I have to watch the film to see how many of our turnovers were dead ball turnovers or they live ball turnovers that we didn't convert. But I know we missed a couple breakaways. I do know we screwed up a couple plays in transition late where we had opportunities to capitalize with numbers and didn't. But it's the room for error. Like when we start the second half, first 4 minutes, and it goes quickly from 3 to 9 or 8. You can feel that a little bit in terms of a game like this because of how hard it was in the half court. And I give our guys a lot of credit though. I thought at the 13-minute mark we could have wilted, and I thought that we did not wilt. Our effort level and what we talked about dictating the game. The hardest playing players, the hardest playing teams always set the rules. Effort makes up for a lot of mistakes. And I thought right around that 13-minute mark, we sort of rallied and got our feet back on the ground defensively. Alex, I thought, played a huge role in this game in the second half in terms of being able to space him a little bit more, made a couple big shots, couple drives. So that gave us a little life, and then we were back in it. But it's a great point that you made just in terms for room for error in games like this. I'll also say in our last 2 games, from an actual deflection standpoint, I don't think I've ever seen our team struggle to capitalize on a deflection where a ball hits our hands, rolls on the ground, 3 guys are right there and they pick it up. Or a defensive rebound goes off the rim, boom, hits us in the hands, and like the shooter gets it back. Like crazy plays, and sometimes I think like at the end of the day when you're trying so hard, just as the ball can't like find your hands sometimes. And we've had a lot of those in the last 2 games where like, man, the ball's right there, it's 50-50, we didn't get it. We talked a lot about that at halftime, but yeah, the room for error, the margin for error, especially this time of year, there's a lot of little things that matter.
No RJ today, the status for him?
Concussion protocol, obviously had a collision in the St. Bonaventure game. I don't know where that stands moving forward, other than the fact that he wasn't going to be available today. We get one in, we lose one. It's been the case. I've never had a season. I've been a part of a lot of seasons as a player and coach where injuries take their toll. Sometimes you lose one guy early, sometimes you may lose a guy late. But I don't never know if I've been in a season where we've had so much in and out. We've had so much in and out, and I think that's part of our problem offensively, is the rhythm on offense of the guys in different positions and different guys playing different spots. Jameer's out 4 games. When Jonah comes back, Jameer leaves. Jameer's starting to come back, lose RJ. Like, it's been one in and one out. It's been a very difficult, thing. And you lose RJ with 1 day preparation, that's sort of what happens to you in terms of the grand scheme of things. You have to have adaptability. You have to have some flexibility with your players to play, which is what we're trying to do a little bit more of right now. But RJ's done a really good job for us of manning the ship. His assist totals have been high. He helps us get organized and run the team. And obviously, we hope we can get him back at some point.
What was the prep like? You had basically a 36-hour turnaround.
There was no prep this week. Unfortunately, Mother Nature, hurt our state. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of other things that obviously go on when a blizzard happens. But in terms of our players, it actually eerily felt like COVID. When the state of emergency is issued, and you're at a state university, you got to follow protocol. So our players and coaches didn't see each other from Sunday to Wednesday. No practice, no meetings. And as we got to Wednesday, obviously, you have a quick run and shoot. You get on an airplane, you go play St. Bonaventure. And worst game we've played all year in terms of just effort, gas, couldn't run, couldn't move. Thought that helped us today getting that game in because, that conditioning level, that rhythm. But upon returning, you have to take a very quick snapshot and say what's the most important things we have to deal with. Thought our guys did a great job yesterday in terms of responding to hey, here in short order, this is what's important in the game. And I also thought both things, or 2 or 3 things that we really emphasized, they really did a good job with. It's not an easy cover in one game to deal with all that. Offensively, it's a really difficult offensive game to prep for when they have the size, Ajibar playing patrol defense, so to speak. So in short order, I thought we did a good job. The bottom line for our team today, let's just keep it simple, we didn't make a shot. We really struggled to shoot the ball. We needed some balls to go in at crucial times. And I thought at one stretch, at least first half, and then early first 10 minutes, second half, there's probably 10 of them that are good looks. You gotta shoot them, you gotta make them.
All right, folks, thank you very much.